Good morning, everyone. In the previous class, we have started with the numericals related to the average precipitation. We have started with some numericals in which we have calculated the average rainfall with the help of Thiessen polygon method, uh, as well as your arithmetic mean method. Today we will do some other numericals related to that. Okay. Uh, this next numerical, it is important that uh, in some question what is happening, the weighted parameters of the rain gauge is also given. In that case, how you have to use that in your formulas, that I will show you today. Okay, so we'll start with the next numerical. It says that the network of a 10 station in and around the network of 10 station in and around a river basin have a Thiessen weight. So as you can see that it has been clearly mentioned over here, weights are given of 0. 0.1, 0.06, 0.11, 0.77, 0.08, 0.09, 0.11, 0.12, 0.16 and 0.10 respectively. Stations 2, 4, 3, 2, 4 and 6 lies outside the station, and it has been said that the station amongst all the other stations, 2, 4 and the 6 stations lies outside the basin while the remainings are inside. Okay, so if the rainfall recorded at these stations during the storm are, so the data of the rainfall has been given over here. It says 150 comma 168 comma 158 comma 135 comma 157 comma triple two comma 143 comma 115 comma 231 comma and last one is your 254 respectively. Determine the P average, your precipitation average we have to calculate over a catchment area by arithmetic mean method. So first we have to calculate the average precipitation with the help of arithmetic mean method. After that we will start with the Thiessen polygon method. Okay. Now in arithmetic mean method, you know that we take the uh, sum of all the data of all the station and then we divide it by the total number. So how many stations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are total 10 stations. Okay, so we'll have to add all the 10 station and divide it by what? 10. But in this situation what is happening, that there is the data given is that 2, 4 and 6 are lying outside the basin. So in arithmetic mean method we have to leave all that station which are outside the basin. We need to only consider those stations which are inside the basin. So as you can see clearly, it has been mentioned over here that the two stations, so we have to mark 2. So it has been marked 2 as over here with red pen. I can also mark you. So this one is your second station. Then we will go to the fourth station. This is the fourth station. Okay, then we will go to the sixth station. These six stations. So in arithmetic mean method, what we will do, we'll add 150 to 158 plus 157 plus 143 plus 115 plus 231 plus 254. But we will leave what? We will leave this 168, 135 and 2 because they are outside the basin. Okay, so the formula for your arithmetic mean method is what? The sum of the precipitation data divided by the total number. So in this case, three stations are lying outside the basin, so we are not going to consider that stations. We are only going to consider those stations which are inside the basin. Okay, so we'll add all the stations in which this will be a P1, this will be P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, or you can say that this is P1, this is P3, okay, this is P5, this is P7, P8, P9, and this is P10. So here you can see that P1, P2, P5, P7, P8, P9, P10 divided by how many total 10 stations are there. We are leaving 3 stations from there, so 10 minus 3, that will give you 7. So the total value of your precipitation is coming out to be 172.57. Let me check if it is coming or not. Okay, we'll add all these values. Okay, we have got what? 150. No, it is not writing. Okay. 150 plus 158, okay, plus 157 plus 143 plus 115 plus 231 plus 254. So the total value is coming out to be 1208. We will divide it by what? Total number of stations are what? 7. So this will give you 172.57. So this is the same value which we are getting in terms of centimeter. The data has been given in centimeters, so we'll get the value also in terms of centimeter. Okay. After that, we'll start with the next part. It is also saying that we need to calculate the precipitation average with the help of Thiessen polygon method. So in Thiessen polygon method, the only difference is that in this case we have got the weighted parameters of the station. So what we have to do that we have to multiply the data with the weighted parameters. Okay, we have to multiply the values with the weighted parameters. Okay, so since we have got the first station value as 150 and the weighted value is what, 0.1, we'll multiply 150 with what, 0.1. Okay, then in this case, in the previous case, what we were doing that in case of your arithmetic mean method, we were not considering the station which were outside. But in case of Thiessen polygon method, what is happening? We have to consider the station which is also outside the basin. Okay, so this is the difference in between your Thiessen polygon method and your average arithmetic mean method. So what we have to do, we have to use this formula W1 into P1 plus W2 into P2 plus W3 into P3 plus W4 into P4 plus W5 into P5 and so on up to 10. So this will give you the average value of 176.34. Thiessen polygons include these stations which are also outside. As I have told you, Thiessen polygon have to include all the stations which are also outside the basin. Okay. So we'll try to put all this value, whether it is coming or not, we'll see. Okay. In the calculator. So the first value is what? 150. We'll multiply it with what? 0.1. Second is 168 into what? Your second value is 0.06 plus the next value is 158 into 0.11 plus 158 into 0.07. Okay, after 158 it is having 135 into let me check, this is not coming right. 150 into what? 0.1, 168 into 0.06, then 158 into 0.11. Now we'll have to do it again. This is not coming right. First one is your 150 into 0.1 plus second is 168 into 0.06 plus 158 into 0.11 plus 135 into 0.07 plus 157 in 157 157 into will be what? Your 0.08, 222 into 0.9, 143 into 0.11, 115 into 0.12, 231 into 0.16, and last one will be your 254 into 0.11, and that will give you the value of P average. That will be equal to what? 176.34. Okay, try to calculate in your calculators. Okay, whether it is coming 176.34 or not. Okay, so this is the next method, that is your Thiessen polygon method. After that we'll see the next numerical. The question is saying that given are the following data, compute the P average over the catchment area. So this is your isohedral method. In this, isohydral values are being given, and catchment area value is in given, which is in terms of kilometer. Isohydral is in terms of centimeter. So the first value is 40. Okay, the catchment area is dash. The second value is 35. The catchment area is 35 kilometers square. Next value is 30 centimeter. The catchment area is 90. Then it is 25. The catchment area is 150 kilometers square. Isohydral is 20. Catchment area is 310. Isohydral value is 15. The catchment area is 430. The last value is 10 centimeter, and the catchment area is 600 kilometer square. So in this, what you have to do, we have to consider a catchment area. We'll have to draw a catchment area. After that, what we will do, we'll try to draw the isohydral. The first isohydral is what? 40. So as you can see, it has been drawn over here as 40. The second one is your 35. The 35, then 30, then 25, then 20, then 15, and 10. Okay. So we have got the isohydral method formula. The formula is what? A1 into P1 plus P2 by 2, A2 P2 plus P3 by 3, plus A3 P3 by P3 plus P4 by 2, A4 P4 by plus P5 by 2, and so on. So what we will do that, we have to draw a table. In this, we are considering the first table as the isohydral. So we have got the values of isohydral. The first value is 40, then 35 point. So as you can see that the first part of your table is your isohydral. So we need to consider the isohydral. The first isohydral is 40. The second is your 35. So we'll write what? 40 and 35. Second is your 35, then 30. We'll write 35 and 30 in the second one. After that, there is 30 and 25. So we'll write 30 and 25 with the next isohydral. Next is your 20 and 15. So we'll write 25. Sorry. Next is your 25 20. We'll write 25 20. After that 20 15 and 15 10 and so on. Okay. So we have to take the average of this. So 40 plus 35 divided by 2, that will give you 37.5. Okay. Let me check. 40 plus 35 divided by what? 2. 40 plus 35, okay, divide by 2. So we are getting 37.5. The second one, 35 and 30, will get 32.5. Okay, 30 plus 25 divided by 2, that will give you 27.5. Similarly, 25 plus 20 divided by 2, that will give you 22.5. 20 plus 15 divided by 2, that will give you 17.5. And 15 and 10, 15 plus 10 divided by 2, that will give you 12.5. Now we need to consider the catchment area under these isohydral. So as you can see in this diagram, the first area under the isohydral in this portion between 40 to 35, which this area is coming. So the area for which is nothing but your 35. So we will take 35 in this area. Okay. After that, from 35 to 30, which area is coming? 90 kilometers square is coming. So we'll take this area. Okay. Similarly, from 30 to 25, which area is coming? The next area will come 150. From 25 to 20, it will be 310. From 20 to 15, it will be 430. And between 15 to 10, it will be 600. So we'll write all the areas: 90, 150, 310, 430, and 600 kilometers square. Okay. So what we have done is that we have calculated the three part of the table. The first is your isohydral, then is your P average, then next is your area. Okay. After that, we'll try to calculate what? We'll divide this total area, this particular area, by what? By the total summation of this area. We need to add all this area. So the final value was coming out to be 1615. So we'll divide each area by the total sum. So this will give you what? The first value is 0.0217, the next is 0.0057, the next is 0.0929, the next is 0.192, next is 0.2663, next is your 0.375. Okay. So this is the total values which we have got for each rows. Okay, after that we need to calculate what average value, p average. So p average will be given by what? We need to multiply the the second column with the fourth column. So the second column is what? 37.5. The fourth column is what? 0.0217. So that will give you what? 0.814. Or you can directly use this formula also. In this, what we need to consider is that we have got the average value. This is the average value, 37.5. Okay. We need to multiply it with what? Area. So we will take the area which is coming out is 35. Okay. Okay. Similarly, we will do the second part, third part, and divide it by what? Total area. So either you can do it by this table, or you can directly use this formula and put all the values to give this answer. Okay. So we have done in the tabular form, so that will be easy for you. Okay. So the next value is, the second calculation is was 0.1810. Next is 2.55, 4.32, 4.66, and 4.644. So the total P average is what? Sum of all these values, that will give you your average precipitation. So it is coming out to be 18.803. Okay. So you can use this table, or you can directly use this value. Directly use this formula, you can easily get this value, 18.803. So try to calculate. After that, we'll do the next numerical. Next numerical is what? The catchment area of a basin is in the shape of a regular hexagon. So a catchment area has been given, which is in the form of a hexagon of 40 km. Okay. 7 rain gauges located, one at each end of the hexagon. So 7 rain gauges are there, and each station is being provided at the ends of the hexagon, and one at the center is recorded. One at the center recorded the precipitation of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So it is saying that a hexagon is there. The 7 rain gauge stations are there. So the stations are at the corners or at the ends of the hexagon. Okay, one is at the center, and it has recorded the value of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 as precipitation value respectively. Using Thiessen polygon method, compute the P average. So we need to calculate the P average of the basin. Okay. So Thiessen polygon method, in this we required what? For that we required area. So for that we need to find out the area of a single triangle. Okay. So all the triangles are equilateral triangles. What we have to do in Thiessen polygon method, we need to divide the triangles with the help of bisectors into 3 parts. Okay. So we will draw all the perpendicular bisectors to divide that triangles into 3 parts. As you can see that bisectors have been provided. This is cutting the triangle from this side, this is cutting the triangle from this side, this is cutting the triangle from this side. So it has divided this triangle into 3 parts. Similarly, other triangles also. This side is cutted by this bisector, this side is cutted by the other bisector, this side is cutted by the other bisector. So this triangle has been divided into 3 parts. Similarly, this triangle has been divided into 3 parts. 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 Okay. So isoartal method, we need to divide the triangles into number of bisector. After that, we'll try to calculate what, since all the triangles are having the same area, we'll have to find out at least the triangle area of one triangle. Then we will divide it by 3, so that will give you the value of your one part. Okay. So we are trying to consider what the first triangle, that is your A, F, and G. We are considering this. Since it is an isoartal, the angle will be what, 60 degree. All the angles will be 60 degrees. Since all the angles will be 60 degree. Okay. So the area for the first triangle will be what, half into base into height. So we have got the base value, because we know that all the sides of the hexagon will be what, 40 km. We have got the base, but we don't know the height. Okay. For that height, we need to consider what, this triangle. So as you know, this part is what, 40. This side is also 40. we need to calculate the height. Okay, so height will be what? Sine theta. Okay, so sine theta will be what? Perpendicular upon what? Hypotenuse. So h by what? Your 40. So h value will be what? 40 into sine theta. So finally the h is coming out to be 34.64. So half into base into height, that is giving you value of what? 692.84 kilometers. So the first, so we have got the area of one triangle. The area of AFG is what? 692.84, and this area will be equal to all the other triangles because they are all equilateral triangles. Okay. So now from this value we can get what? If we have got the value of this total triangle AFG, we can divide it into three parts because these bisectors are cutting it into three parts. Okay, so divide by 3, that will give you what? AFG equals, in this it is means written that all the triangles are coming to be what? Having same area, that is 692.84. So in the table what we are writing all the station A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. In the second part we are writing all the precipitation value which has been given in the table, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay. Now what are the areas we need to consider? Under station A, what are the parameters given? Okay, you can see that in station A, this part is coming. Okay, and this part is coming. That means if we divide it by 3, okay, so whatever the value is coming, let me check what is the value coming. The value is 692.84 divided by what? 3. So it is 230.94. It is 230.94. Okay, so in station A there are two triangles coming, so two parts of the triangle is coming. So this part plus this part, so one value is what? 230.94. We need to multiply it with 2, so that will give you the area which is coming under the station A. Okay, so if we multiply it by 2, we get 230.94 into 2. That will give you 461.86. This is the area which is coming under the station A. Similarly, now we will see that in station B what is coming. Station B, another two parts of the triangles are coming, that will be same as that, so same as A. Now in C what will be? There will be two parts of the triangle, so it will be same as A. Similarly D, two parts of the triangle are coming, it will be same as A. Similarly from E, there are two parts of the triangle, so it will be same as A. Similarly at F, it will be consisting of two parts of the triangles, so it will be same as A. Now the central part. In center what is coming? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 parts of the triangles are coming, so we need to multiply 230.94 with 6. Okay, so 230.94 into what? 6 is equal to what? 1385.64. This will give you the value of 1384.64. So we'll try to give the sum of all the values. Sum is coming out to be 4156.74. This is the sum of what? This area. So we have got the formula of P average, that is PA into A plus PB plus AB plus PC plus AC plus PD plus AD plus PE plus AE plus PF plus AF plus PG into AG divided by summation of area. So we have got the precipitation value, we have got the area value, so we can use this PAAA plus PB plus AB. So we'll write all this, we'll add it and divide it by what? Total sum. So let me check. So we have multiplied this with the area, so this is the values which are coming. So let's check whether the answer is coming correct or not. 461.86 plus 93 9237.2 plus 1385.8 plus 18474.4 plus 2 393 plus 27711.6 plus 9699.0.6 divide by 4156.74. So the value is coming out to be 46.66. Let me check. It is coming out to be 46.66. So that our answer is correct. Okay. So this is the last numerical. One more as well. So in the next numerical, it is saying that drainage area within each of the isoidal stations for a storm are tabulated for 432 kilometer square basin. So the total basin is what, 432 kilometer. Use the isoidal method to determine the average precipitation depth with the basin for the storm. So isoidal stations have been given, areas have been provided. Okay, so we'll draw our catchment area. We'll draw the isoidal. Okay, the first isoidal is 14, the next one is 12, the next is 10 centimeter, the next is 8 centimeter, the next is 6 centimeter. Okay, so the first area is about 32 kilometers square, next is 123, next is 85, 173 and 90. Now isoidal value, we'll draw the table. So isoidal values were station 0.14, 0.14, 0.12, 0.12, 0.10, 0.10, 0.08. After that, we'll try to calculate the average precipitation. So the first precipitation is coming out to be 14. Okay, because the station from here, the value is not given. Okay, so no station has been there, so the average value will be what, 14. Okay, in second station, what is coming in between 14 to 0.12, the average value is coming out to be 13. 14 plus 12 divided by what, 2, that will give you the value of 13. Since it is not having any station this side, so it will, the average of the first will be what, directly 14. Okay, after that the next one is what, 12 plus 10 divided by 2, that will give you 11. After that 10 plus 8 divided by 2, that will give you 9. After that 8 plus 6 divided by what, 2, that will give you 7. So area under this is what, 32, this is 123, this is 85, 173 and 19 kilometers square. So we have written all the areas. Okay, so now we'll use this formula for your isoidal method, that is A1 into P1 plus P2 by 2 and so on. So the average which is coming out to be what, the average coming out is to be what, 14 centimeter. The area is what, 32, so 32 into 14. Okay, this 2 multiply plus this 2 multiplication plus this 2 multiplication, this 2 multiply, this 2 multiply. Okay, we'll add all this value and divide it by total area. So total area is coming out to be 432. So the final value is coming out to be 10.81 centimeter square. The only difference in this question is that previously, in previous problem, what was there? The station was what, starting from here. The isoidal was provided before the catchment area. In this case, what is happening, that the isoidal has been provided inside the catchment area. Okay, so in this we don't need to take the average, we'll take the first precipitation as what, 14 centimeter, since it is coming directly inside your catchment area. Okay,